Welcome back. You're watching Editors Roundtable. So Atul was just telling us how hot the primary market has been, the IPO market in India, and it's only going to get hotter because next week, Bajaj Housing Finance, it's the first IPO from the Bajaj Group in more than 3 decades, and it opens up for subscription starting Monday. The overall valuation of this company is close to 60,000 crore rupees. And just some details, they're raising about 6,560 crore, which is a combination of offer for sale, where the promoter will bring down their holding to about 88-89%, and the balance will be a fresh issue of 3,560 crore, which the company will use as growth capital, which will suffice them for the next 2 to 3 years, according to the management. So just a couple of points. First, the opportunity for housing finance company. Now, the management of Bajaj Housing Finance told me that the home loan market in India is 30 lakh crore plus. The loan against property market is at 10 lakh crore plus, and according to CRISIL, this market is growing at 13 to 15%. So the runway for growth is quite high. Now, amongst the players here, you categorize them into 2 buckets. One are, the companies which cater to the higher value ticket size home loans, and then you've got the affordable housing loan. So Bajaj Housing Finance comes in the prime segment. Their average ticket price of home loan is the highest amongst peers. It's the second largest player. Its AUM stands at about 97,000 crore rupees. So the highest is LIC Housing. After that, you've got Bajaj Housing Finance. But Bajaj Housing Finance has been the fastest growing housing finance companies. Whether you compare it to these players or even the affordable housing finance players like Aadhar, Aptus, Aavas Financiers. Secondly, the asset quality of Bajaj Housing Finance is the best in class. Despite the company increasing their focus on developer finance, which typically is seen as a little more riskier, they've managed to maintain their, asset quality. Gross NPAs, as I said, best in class and at just 0.28%, and the net NPA at 0.11%. So these are some of the strengths that Bajaj Housing Finance has managed to maintain now for the last 7 years. It's been 7 years since the company started operations, and in a span of 7 years, the company has become the fastest growing housing finance company. Now, the only thing is that the valuations are at a premium. We know the Bajaj Group itself commands a premium. All the Bajaj Group stocks, whether it's finance, Finserv, Bajaj Auto, they've all been big wealth creators. So this company is also coming with a premium compared to its peers. Is it justified? Have they left enough money on the table? Well, that remains to be seen. But let me ask Atul. Atul, now you've been tracking the IPO market very closely. You've invested in many of the recent ones via the anchor book. So a couple of questions. One, do you like the housing finance companies because the asset quality has been pretty strong? Secondly, where does Bajaj Housing Finance fit in? Is this a company that you think is attractive? They've left money on the table. And thirdly, because you like holding companies, there is also Bajaj Holding, right, which gives you, the best of all. Yeah. So would you still stick with Bajaj Holding, or would you want to add this one?
So firstly, I think in terms of, like you mentioned, like first IPO in like 3 decades,
yeah.
And a management team which has absolutely proven itself. They're the blue-eyed management team. If you go back in time, like the performance of Bajaj Finance over the last 2 decades has been spectacular. So from that perspective, and especially in financial services, the most important things are the sponsor, the management team. So those are the key elements which determine the success of a financial services business. And from that perspective, Bajaj Housing, they seem to have all the ingredients to be a very successful housing finance business. Additionally, if you look at it, what's happened on the bond market side is after HDFC's merger with HDFC Bank, there is a general, in terms of vacuum for a large credible player to come in and fit in there. So I think from that perspective, even on the bond market side, things should be fairly good for Bajaj Housing and so on. Opportunity in terms of growth, see, if you have credibility, like in financial services business, what is important is if you have credibility, your cost of funds tends to be the lowest. Now, that low cost of funds enables you to lend to the best set of borrowers. And because you have a low cost, you can outcompete other people. And you can price your products much better than other products in the market. That's how you continue to build market share over a period of time. And I think from that perspective, Bajaj Housing, they have those ingredients. Holding companies, yes. So I would like to point out that although we hold some of the names in the portfolio which are holding companies, I think the key is if you look at it more recently, we have a regulator who is concerned about the aspect of holding company discount for minority shareholders. And they've had a number of initiatives in this particular aspect where they've had a number of discussion papers, and now they have a call auction mechanism whereby they're trying to look at a price discovery for holding companies and so on. So a lot of those things will eventually result in holding company discount narrowing for the more credible companies, because holding companies also, you don't need to buy any company, you need to buy underlying businesses which are great, and added you have an optionality of holding company valuation coming about.
Absolutely. Just a quick word. So Bajaj Finance, I'm assuming you're interested, right? You're
Housing, you mean?
Housing, sorry.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're participating.
Absolutely.
And do you own any of the others in the space? Housing Finance? No.
Housing finance, no, not really.
Okay. And would you mind naming any of the other, apart from what we discussed? Ola, no. Premier Energy, yes. What else?
No, I wouldn't want to get into that conversation.
Premier Energy will be tricky, right? I mean, you put money in the IPO and then the stock doubles in 4 days. I mean, today, I think it's almost triple today, right? It's 12.
No, not really. I don't think so.
Not yet. It's not 50 yet.
Not yet.
450. Today it was around 1100.
He's going to party. Tricky.
But I wouldn't want to talk stock specific.
1150, I think, today.
Yeah.
Telecom is... sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, you briefly spoke about disruption in the telecom.
Yeah.
We saw a big reaction in Vodafone today. Generally, what's your view on telecom space? Because Shagnu, one of your colleagues, and he seems to be quite bullish on telecom as a sector.
Yes,
What's
absolutely.
your view?
So we are bullish on telecom.
What's the thesis there? I mean, it's a consumption play now?
So the key thing is it's all about ARPU. So because in telecom you have a fixed cost business. The business is absolutely fixed cost. But the tariffs here are so low that there is massive repricing potential in the future. And the key thing is, like, in a business which has very high fixed cost and you have repricing potential on the pricing, incrementally whatever repricing that you do, 80 to 90% comes down to the bottom line.
Yes.
So that is going to be the key. So that is the key reason for the bullishness in telecom. We own some of the larger names in telecom in our portfolios.
Okay, Atul, thank you very much for coming down to our studio. Guys, it's been a tough week, but we're going to call it a day now. And there's festive cheer this weekend. So enjoy yourself, stay safe, and keep watching CNBC TV 18 for more news and updates. Thank you for watching this show.